Listeners, some weeks ago I was at the Oakland Chamber of Commerce event and happened to bump into a gentleman by the name of Jack Miller. Jack runs a group called AfricaJack, and it struck my imagination. Certainly was an interesting company. Wanted to bring him on. So welcome, Jack. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here. Thanks, Timothy.
Jack, why don't we just dive right in? Before we talk about AfricaJack, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
Thanks. I actually have a sales and marketing corporate America background. Grew up knowing that I was going to be a business guy and just wanted to make lots of money. So
suit and tie.
Suit and tie, you know, whole 9 yards. Always have been drawn to missions and grew up in my father is a minister, so I have a lot of experience in volunteering and raising money and also a lot of nonprofit organization boards.
So as I understand it, you decided to, I don't want to say drop out of corporate America, but had enough. Is that a fair assessment, Jack?
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. It was good to me, and I believe I was good to it as well.
Yeah.
But just kind of felt that I needed something else and needed to devote my time and energies to something that I could feel good about at the end of the day, knowing that I affected people.
Well, what drew you to Africa then? I mean, I understand mission, but why Africa?
Yeah, that's what I always ask myself as well. I never really thought I would ever be doing work in Africa or working with children, but I had a friend who was had just come back from his trip, and he and I met over some Chinese food in Denver, and he showed me about 4,000 pictures and told me stories of his journey and working with the AIDS orphanages over there. And I was just moved and teary-eyed and said, you know what, that's something that I want to do. So I fortunately had the opportunity to set the money aside, and he called me up in November and said, do you still want to go in March? I need a check. And so after more questions and kind of figuring out where the money went, I just felt like I needed to do more. So over one of the 8 consecutive weekend snowstorms, my partner and I sat on the couch and developed a marketing campaign. And we knew that we needed something that people could remember.
Okay.
It would be easy for people to find us on the web.
Yeah. And
just a blog site that would be informative and educational to all our friends and family. And we came up with AfricaJack.
What is AfricaJack? What is the goal? What are you trying to achieve here?
We really saw that there was a need for a non-faith, non-political based organization that could help the people, primarily the children in Africa, who are affected by HIV/AIDS. Statistics say that about 15 million children each year are affected by HIV/AIDS. We came back with the realization that, you know, how could we give to the African continent and primarily the children who are affected by HIV/AIDS that continues to give. I thought, well, let's stick with something that we know that we can do and something that we were successful at. And we were successful at raising money to build a learning center. And so we stuck with that.
You also mentioned on your website there's a focus on pediatric medication. Is that right?
Yes, there is. While there, I had been speaking with a number of employees at HIV centers. Okay. And they had mentioned that their biggest struggle with pediatric care is the forms that the medication comes in. The medication worked here in the United States because our children are nourished and have meals. There in Africa, most of the children who are infected with HIV/AIDS don't have the opportunities to have full meals and have full nutrition. So their systems are not breaking down the medication, allowing them to have the proper care that they need for that infection.
And the Learning Center side, you're trying to set up, as I understand it, learning centers at the AIDS clinics.
At the AIDS orphanages, yes.
Oh, at the orphanages, okay.
Yeah, our goal is to set up learning centers at the orphanages where the children can learn, in addition to their primary care, primary education, they can learn world and local skills. Okay. So that they can go out once they're able to and secure jobs and better income.
How are you achieving these goals? I guess money certainly is one way. Are you shipping books down there for the educational centers? And you mentioned work with the pharmaceutical companies themselves.
Yes. Timothy, once like I said, this organization actually we just started.
Uh-huh.
The first dollar came in December the 29th, 2006.
Wow,
We
brand
raised,
new.
Yeah, we raised $10,000 in 55 days.
Hmm.
Moved to California March the 3rd, 2007. Left for Africa on the 19th of March, 2007. And on June the 4th of 2007, we just received our 501c3 status. So it's still all very new.
You know, one question I get frequently around nonprofits is about the administrative costs.
One of the things that we did on our first campaign was we wanted to make sure that every dollar donated went directly into that building campaign.
Okay.
And so one of the things that we have said that we're going to continue to do with our foundation is continue that 100% contribution to the program. So if you donate $100, $100 will go directly into the program.
Okay, so you're independently wealthy, Jack. Tell me how
No,
you're
I
getting
wish I
paid.
was. I wish I was.
Okay.
The administrative costs are going to be covered by grant writing.
How many learning centers are you hoping to build by the end of '08? What sort of costs are involved? Give us something measurable, tangible to grab.
Absolutely. What we've seen so far is we've been able to complete one building even before the foundation was in existence.
Okay.
That building cost us about $10,000
Alright.
to put the structure up, as well as the lighting, electrical, all of those types of extra things.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing that through other organizations to fill the library with books, or to put desks in the classrooms, to give them the materials needed for sewing classes.
Uh-huh.
Those types of infrastructures are running about $5,000 extra.
All right, so 15,000 gets me the structure, the training, the whole kit and caboodle. Could I say it?
That is what we're looking at. Correct.
Okay. How many are you looking to do?
Right now we have another interest in northern Zimbabwe. We've received 2 interests in Ghana, 2 in Kenya, 2 in South Africa, and 1 in Tanzania.
So 8
which
so
would
far.
be giving us 8.
And at 15,000 a pop, so roughly $120,000.
Yes.
So that could be an initial goal. Now, are these countries asking that the 8 be built by the end of '07? How fast was the first one built?
The first one was built in less than 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Things move pretty well.
Yeah,
That's-
the people over there need something, and they want something. They
Mhm.
have the space. The primary school that I visited had about 750 children,
Okay.
and they needed 8 buildings to house those
Wow.
extra. They need extra space, so they have the need. They have the children to fill the buildings. They just don't have the money to build the buildings. They will do the work themselves. It's not our goal to bring in bulldozers and hard hats and tell them how they're going to build their building. Each building will be built to local and traditional architectural design,
Yeah.
with the materials that they have,
Mhm.
and it'll be maintained by them as well.
Jack, tell us a bit about the partnerships, and being a coffee aficionado and fiend, maybe you could start with the Sweet Unity coffee.
Yeah, that's a great one. While I was in Africa, we had an interest in our organization from a company, from an organization that's based in Tanzania and New York. It's a great story. David Robinson, Jackie Robinson's son, moved to Africa almost
Just a
20
ball
years
player.
ago. Yes, baseball.
Okay. Yeah.
And his goal was to increase profitability on the coffee farmers by developing a cooperative of farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And today that cooperative is almost 400 farmers that
Great.
will buy and sell their beans direct to the consumer. What they've been able to do is, in most cases, increase the profitability per bag of coffee from 70 cents to about $2.50 a bag.
Great.
Our partnership with them, if you buy their coffee online, you enter a coupon code AfricaJack, so AfricaJack,
Okay.
and they will donate $2.50 to the foundation for each bag sold.
Well, folks, check it out again at AfricaJack.com. There are many ways to support this group, whether by donation or purchase of the product, or even the iGive program that you'll see described on there. Final question for you, Jack. What really matters?
You know, what really matters to me is, at the end of the day, I can get some sleep and wake up refreshed with a smile on my face, knowing that I made a difference. But honestly, it's money. Having people call in or donate their money so that we can continue to build the learning centers.